hey, Blitz Boys kind of looks like Butts Boys. And I was like, if you look at the font, like the L and the I are so close together, it looks like a U. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. I can't unsee it.
I'm still unconvinced that the spelling out immediately was my fault. That's a weird one. But the 4-wad, that was 100% me.
Yeah, the 4-wad. I was gonna just change it to backwad instead of fixing it. Just change the other one to backwad, so it was a 4-wad backwad movement.
Then it looks intentional.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, why fix it when you can just make a meme out of it?
Hello and welcome everyone to the Wildcard Town Hall. First Town Hall ever since at least early access release. I think we've done some in the past, but thank you guys so much for joining us. My name is Luke. I am the marketing lead here at Wildcard. And Brad, why don't you introduce? I know you've been on stream a lot, but in case they haven't seen your wonderful streams, who are you?
My wonderful streams, man. Yeah, I don't know about that. Sometimes I get cooked on those streams, so we'll see. I'm Brad. I'm the lead game designer here at Wildcard, and yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. Shady, you up next?
I'm Shady. I'm one of the community managers for Wildcard, and just so you guys know, we do have titles in game that says Dev Team. Just know when you see me, I'm usually not running a competitive deck, so you're okay. Don't worry about it.
And when you see me, I don't even think I have the dev title. Mine is just Luke WTP, and you'll know it's me because you'll probably be beating me because I've been watching streams more than I've actually gotten a chance to play at this point. So I got to get some matches in. But thank you guys so much for watching. Eventually, we're going to do some more shows. We'll talk about that in the future, and we'll do some live stuff, more fun interaction with everyone here in the community. But just wanted to start off because NextFest, early access, all this stuff has been so crazy, so wild, no pun intended, maybe a little pun intended. But we just want to get out in front of the community and just show our faces, chat with you guys a bit, because it's been so great seeing you guys play our game so far. And we obviously know there's a ton of feedback, a ton to talk about. So we just wanted to start the conversation, but we'll definitely be including the community more and more in the conversation as we do live streams as well. But thank you guys so much for joining us. So today, at least in this town hall, I want to kick it off to you guys before we get into like what's coming in the future, what's like the feedback, all this stuff. I just want to give us a chance because we've had this awesome moment to go into NextFest and into early access and just talk about that, recap, do a little celebration, even if it's not perfect. I don't know about for you guys, but my past experiences, all the games have died in alpha, so they haven't even made it to launch. So this is technically the first game I've gotten a chance to actually see launch, which is
I'll
awesome.
say I'm an MMORPG gamer, so failures in that genre are the most common. So I've suffered quite a bit of loss.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll kick it to you, Brad, because I think you've probably had the most experience in this realm. What were your expectations? Let's start with NextFest. What was your expectations going into that? Have you been a part of a NextFest before? And then like what maybe surprised you about it?
Have not been a part of a NextFest, been part of a bunch of other like soft launch or early access type of things that are similar to NextFest, but never a NextFest specifically. With a new game and a newer community wasn't really a giant expectation, right? We're not a studio or a game that has a huge following, has a bunch of games under us that we're bringing that following with us. I think when you have that following, your expectations are generally going to be set a lot higher. So for us, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Is one person going to play the game or are a million people going to play the game? Yeah. Let's see what happens. Like we're just rolling the dice. So my expectations were rolling the dice. Are we getting snake eyes or double sixes? I don't know.
and what do you say we rolled? Do you think? Between the double snake eyes and the double sixes.
I think it generally was positive and well received, and we got the feedback we needed, right? So what we're trying to do right now with everything is get the feedback as fast as possible, respond as fast as possible, and improve as fast as possible. One of the philosophies that we always say in the design world is iterate fast, fail faster. So the fastest way we can do that is by getting everybody's hands on there, getting the feedback, failing, and then improving from that, and then failing and improving from that. And a failure can be very small things or it can be very big things. So every piece of feedback that everybody gives us is something that maybe we're failing at, that then we improve on really fast to make it better for the next step. So I think we got everything that we needed. It was a successful thing. You could always say it could be more successful and it could be bigger and better and stuff, but I think we got what we needed, and we're on to the next steps now.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things, I definitely relate to what you said there about NextFest, because I've never been a part of one that's from a game. I've been a part of it as a player. I've done research on it, but it's, if for those of that don't know how it works, basically you submit your game, any indie game can come into Steam and be a part of NextFest. But outside of that, you don't really control things. You know, a lot of it is based on how you do the first couple of days. Are people enjoying the demo? Are they viewing your page? And then if people are enjoying it, Steam pushes you more and more and more. So it's like the first couple of days as a marketing team, we're sitting there. Obviously, we're doing stuff outside of that to interact with streamers. We have other marketing beats outside of NextFest, but as far as inside NextFest, you're really just like sitting there watching charts, like crossing your fingers, like Steam, please like us, keep keep pushing us out there. And it was awesome to see that because of people like you guys in the community playing the game, we actually did pretty well in Steam NextFest. We got almost 3,000 demo plays. We got multiple thousands of wish lists coming in, tons of views and impressions on the page. And so, like, for me, like, it wasn't maybe like double sixes like you're saying, Brad. Like, I'm sure like there's always things that could have been better improvements, but overall, like, I was actually pretty happy with how things rolled out for us in NextFest.
I mean, we've seen, I know, looking back in the past, like, couple months, right, there's been a lot of indie games that just go viral right off the bat, just crazy virality on them. And I think that would be the ultimate double six. But we're in the solid, we're in the mid range. I think a lot of I think the most fun part about it was that all the people coming in were like, this is a new game, right? Like a new type of game. It's really confusing to understand in the start. And it was like people were going through the learning process of the game, but it was still fun. Like even if you lost or something you didn't understand, it was all of us from the team were involved with helping people to understand the game, which was just added fun, right? Like, we get to go jump into all these streamers and hang out with them. And it was just a fun way to interact with everybody. You join up matches, their communities, like, oh, they're saying, oh, the devs are carrying you. And like, just the funny interactions we had with everyone, that it was just a great time.
Yeah, I had a family game night day one of NextFest, and it was funny to see that spectrum you're talking about, Shady. It was like my brother-in-law, he's like super competitive, plays Valorant, Overwatch, all these games. He's a hardcore gamer, and he gets in a match with me. He's like, okay, Luke, do this. I'm like, what do you mean you're commanding me, bro? I'm the one that's been playing this. What are you doing? But he was so into it. And then like I had a cousin-in-law she never touches multiplayer games. Like the most probably intense game she's ever played is like Baldur's Gate, right? And she's just running around like constantly swearing, like, what's going on? She was still having fun, but like definitely that more of that, wow, this is a lot to figure out for her.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's definitely that spectrum that we saw across the board there. Awesome. Well, obviously we went from NextFest. We had a whole guys? I think 16 hours to get ready for early access, Brad. Not even that.
Yeah, no, not even that. Go from NextFest to early access, it was fast.
Just a funny little note there. I mean, technically, yes, but the game was still like live at that time because we didn't stop the matchmaking. So really, the game didn't take a break. We maybe took a break from watching NextFest going on, but the game was still rolling.
Yeah, I guess in theory, the demo of NextFest ended Monday morning, and then we went live Tuesday morning. So, but there was a couple players sneaking in matches still in the demo, which I thought was funny to see. But Brad, I don't know how much behind the scenes you want to give, but I'm curious to hear from your point of view with the dev team. What was that like trying to get that quick turnaround? Because I know you guys did a lot of updates even for the early access build before that, like quick turnaround.
Yeah, we generally are kind of done sooner than that turnaround, right? We're getting a lot of the feedback and making a lot of the changes. I mean, a lot of us worked through the whole weekend and everything to make sure it was going to happen and get all the fixes in and minimize as many crashes and problems that we could. So, I mean, it's just 24 hours around the clock, monitoring NextFest, working to get the next build going. And then at some point we just have to say, hey, this is where the build's at. Let's move it forward. And, we did the best that we could to like test all that. And then we're like, cool, now it's time to get early access and figure out the next steps.
How many, if you were to estimate as far as the dev team, how much time did they sleep last week, get away from the keyboard, and do their families and pets still recognize who they are?
Probably very little. I would say most people are like 5 or 6 hours like away from getting stuff out there. So like a day. It's crunch time. It kind of happens in the gaming industry. We try to minimize that as much as possible, as much as we can. But everybody's super passionate, right? We're a smaller team. We're not a team of thousands of people. Like we're teams of what, 20 or less, something like that. Like very, very small team. And that's like the whole team, right? And then you look at the dev team and you're like, hey, the people that are actually pushing the buttons on the game and doing all the coding and stuff. I mean, that's like what, 10, 12 people maybe? Like
Jeez.
it's small, right? So you got to think, and a lot of
Right.
people don't know that. And so like we'll toot our
Right.
own horn sometime and be like, yes, there's an army that has to go around the game then, right? And that's where all you guys and the community and the marketing and everybody else comes in. But like to make all the art, to do all the programming, to make it all happen, like it's not thousands of people. So everybody's aware, like it's a dozen-ish handful of people that are doing this and putting this type of game out, which is crazy. It's just straight up crazy. So we're all passionate, right? And so that's right. Like everybody's putting in extra time. Everybody is helping each other out, right? I might not be an artist, but like if the art needs my help to do something, I'm going to do it because we want to make the thing the best that it can be. So
yeah, it's interesting from a marketing perspective because it's like almost a double-edged sword that the game does look so cool, because then I do think people assume like, oh, this has high production quality. They must be a AAA studio, as you said, with, a couple hundred team members or something. And it's like, no, we have a small, very talented team who's worked on this for years. And that's why it looks so cool. But, like, please give us, it's like, I want to tell them like, give us the benefit of the doubt. We're trying to figure things out as a small team, but like some people just see the game and have those higher expectations because it does look cool.
The way I call it is I'm a community manager, multi-class into dev and all the other platforms. Like, I mean, it's the small things too, right? Anything like Brad's got to go in there today is a good example. He had to go in there, get a bunch of changes in there. So what can save Brad time? He doesn't have to spell check and grammar check everything. So I go through the descriptions. So to be fair, if you guys see any spell checking stuff that goes wrong, that's probably me. Although punctuation I'm putting on Titus.
We'll throw him under the bus. He's not even here, but we'll throw him under the bus. I did have 2 streamers give us some spelling check errors, so thank you to those streamers. One, I guess to be fair, one wasn't a spelling error. One was, hey, Blitz Boys kind of looks like Butts Boys, and I was like, if you look at the font, like the L and the I are so close together, it looks like a U. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. I can't unsee it.
I'm still unconvinced that the spelling on immediately was my fault. That's a weird one. But the 4 wad, that was 100% me.
Yeah, the 4 wad. 4 wad. I was gonna just change it to backwad because it says forward and backwards, and I was just gonna, instead of fixing it, just change the other one to backwad, so it was a 4 wad backwad movement.
Then it looks intentional.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, why fix it when you can just make a meme out of it?
I think we need some titles for like every major funny spelling error that we've had in the game. All of a sudden it becomes a title. Like I want a Butts Boys title.
We could do that. Those are easy.
Title.
Mm-hmm.
You know what title I actually need to make that should be the rarest title is 256 and 257.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is, I can't help you.
I actually don't even know what that is. I'm out of the inside joke as an insider.
That's basically what the default player names were in the game, and it was like that for so much of alpha. So everybody was just playing as 256, 257. So that's a good like throwback.
You had to use a code, like a stat and everything to make yourself fancy and have your own name. So
dang,
you never knew who you were playing against.
I'm gonna go change my name to 257 before someone else takes it. Awesome. Well, Shady, how about you? Anything from the community side that you saw or while you were streaming, playing games? Like, what was it like for you jumping into early access? I don't know if you've been a part of, other games that have gone live into early access, but
actually kind of, so a little fun thing I'd like to note. It wasn't anything major, but Marcus Leto had a studio there where they tried to a new game, and I got to, I've been kind of always volunteering for different platforms. I like new tech and new stuff. So I volunteered, moderated to help with their game and everything. Very, very unique concept. It unfortunately didn't catch on. So that was kind of my first experience. But this one is like, that's like nothing compared to what happened this time with the NextFest and the early access. This is my first experience with that. Yeah, you could say it's been, as a first timer, stressful. Not going to lie about that. It's my first time interacting with the community. You see both the positive and the negative reviews. You see the people that you want to get more feedback from them, especially like a little bit unfortunately say it like this, but pulling teeth, right? Some people just get upset and they just don't want to interact with you anymore. But really, like I want to interact with you. I want you to tell me why you had a bad experience and see if we can help you in any way. Because even if we don't win you now, maybe in like 2 months, because let's say we're releasing a new house or something, in a couple of months, maybe that vibes with you. Maybe if you know a little bit about something, it'll get you to come back at that time. So, if you guys,
and even if not that person, right? Like what they're saying could be true enough where,
exactly.
we fix that experience and the next person doesn't have that experience,
I mean, that's gonna lead in a little bit about our, upcoming updates in a little bit here. So, we got a lot of feedback in that regard. And, it's been a fun experience. Like I said, early in our conversation, was interacting with all the streamers. I get my streamer content through clips. So this is kind of my first interaction where I'm regularly interacting with streamers. I would say that's a benefit of being a community manager is I don't get lost in the communications. I get that little bit of extra attention because they're like, oh, the dev's in here, let's talk to him. So it's kind of been like a little fun like bonus for me, is like I get to interact with these people who are hosting like event streams to hundreds, thousands of people or whatever
right.
number. And then even all the way down to like the one guy. So it's been really fun. Like I was watching one guy with, I jumped in his stream, brand new guy. He had maybe one viewer at the time. Then it was me and him for like an hour where we were just chilling. He was having a great time playing our game. I'm giving, I get that one-on-one experience, so he gets all the extra details, right? Like, so we're gonna train him up, and people are gonna be like, what the hell does this guy know that none of these bigger guys know, right?
Yeah, and some of those people, like those have been some of my favorite streamers. Like I think it was Ob3 World yesterday was streaming to like 3 viewers, but he was just so into it. He's like, dude, I used to play these types of games. Like, please, he's like, please unlock my account. I'll do videos literally on every single card. Just like let me mess around with things. And he was just so excited. But to the like flip side to what you said, Shady, it's like we have that, which is awesome. And like you're riding the high of that, and then you go to Steam, you're like, oh, this stupid negative review came in, and it's like, it's such an interesting balance, and it's like a mind game, right? It's like it's easy to attach and latch on in your mind to the negatives
for everyone, right? Like it's not as the only thing I like I said, we're positive, negative feedback either way. Just explain it to me. Don't be like, I hate the game. Cool. Give me one reason. One reason you hate it, and maybe we can change that, and then we're good. Like I understand you might not come back. You might have had a bad experience. Maybe we can rectify that for the next person. It's like, the gaming community, right? Help us make the game better for at least the next person that comes in before we have to, get another person that had the same issue you did.
Brad, what is that like for you? I know you've been in this space a bit longer. So like, has it changed for you as far as like getting feedback on games and the esports stuff you've done? Like, has that evolved for you over time where you have a different perspective on it now, or is it kind of just always just the same kind of case?
I kind of just look past anything that's negative and feedback. and I'm just like, yeah, people are going to hate. And
he has history. He can do that. I haven't grown that skin yet.
You just kind of have to, if you respond all the time and very fast, we could make wrong decisions. And instead it's really better to dig in and say, well, why are they leaving this? What experience do people have? I've seen it from, feedback on a live broadcast, feedback on a game, feedback on a character, like so many different ways. And there's all feedback is good feedback, whether it's positive or negative. And we just have to figure out what do we react and how do we respond and which ones do we make changes to. But does it ever affect me like personally? No, like I just kind of in one ear out the other. I try to like be like everybody who hasn't kind of done this before this year. I kind of try to keep reinforcing like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, because nobody needs to freak out and be like, oh, our game's so bad. Like one person hates it. It's like, it's okay, guys. Like most of the time, the people that want to leave negative feedback and stuff like that is the minority of people, right? It's like no feedback is good feedback, essentially. See, a lot of times if you get more negative than positive, that's okay, because the people that are having fun or whatever, they want to play the game. They don't got time to go make a review, right? So thank you for people who do make a good review, but we don't ever want to like, shove off the people that leave negative feedback. We need to dig in and be like, well, why are they doing this? What's the experience? How could we improve it? And maybe some of those people come back. Maybe they turn those negative reviews into positive reviews once we address their concerns, right? So maybe they didn't like the controller support. Well, we don't have full controller support. Maybe when we have full controller support, they come back, they try it again, and they change their mind, and the review goes to a positive, right? Never know. So things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that's a good segue before we get to like more specifics of the feedback. But I'd love for you, Brad, to just give maybe a couple quick minutes, and Shady, you can fill in as you've seen some of the dev stuff and been jumping in there as well. Not looking for like exact timelines, all the alpha. I mean, if you want to leak stuff, Brad, I always like stuff when it's leaked, but just an overall, like, what does the next couple of weeks look like for you guys? What are the priorities that are starting to surface as we've seen things? And then as we've talked about as a dev team, like, what are those things we're focusing on?
Quickly drop something with no context. Turtle bro. Turtle bro.
Oh my God. Every time we're live with Shady, he's just like, Brad's there to take the fall for me. I'm allowed to say this because he said it first.
There's your alpha. If you guys are paying attention and listening to the whole show, I don't know what it means, but there's your alpha.
Yeah. There's definitely stages of stuff. I would love for Shady to go through like some of the things. I could give you kind of the stages, and then we can kind of break those down as quick as we can. So right now, we're working on a hotfix to go out Monday. So it'll be our first hotfix. A lot of good updates coming to that. We can kind of go over what we're addressing in player feedback in a second. I guess yesterday we dropped an update to progression and update to packs and everything like that to address free-to-play players' feedback, how many packs you're getting, how much battle pass you're getting. So we're keeping an eye on it. Some stuff we can do right away. Some stuff it takes a couple of days. Some stuff it'll take weeks. So we'll talk about what's going in this hot fix, but then I want to talk about a little bit of the features that'll come after that as well. And then we could also look forward to long-term season if we want to. It doesn't matter.
Well, I don't know if we need to go over every single hotfix, because I know the list is long and people will see it on Monday. But what do you think some of those highlights are, either you or Shady?
Shady, do you want to like address a player concern and I can give you an answer to it? Do you want to do a couple of those?
Yeah, so I don't know if I want to do it individually or batch, but the horde summons. I think people have been having a lot of experiences with the Shooter crew, the sports, and even the Cacta crew are being a little bit, but the punks are they're pretty gnarly.
They are. So whenever we're doing balance stuff like that, we're trying to solve different problems at different times. And it's basically, we know that we're going to do these balance fixes pretty fast, and we want to adjust stuff, and we still have to test stuff. We're in early access. So what was happening before was the champions were doing all of the combat. They were clearing waves, they were clearing summons, they were PvPing. The summons were not where we wanted them to be still. It takes a lot of the live player feedback. We got a lot of good feedback from NextFest to make these changes, and we watch those games, we see how people are playing. We're not a hero shooter. It's that simple. Like, we're not a game that's just about the champions. We want this 50-50, 60-40 split to kind of always be there. So upping the health and upping the damage on certain summons makes it more dangerous for the champions to go and fight them. You're not just going to walk up to a bunch of shooter crew and fight them without taking half your health. You're not just going to walk up to punks and fight them without taking some health. Everything should be dangerous. You need to use your summons and use the correct summons to deal with each of those different threats. And then each of those threats and each of those summons need to be good at something. Punks just weren't good at anything. They were so squishy. They weren't doing very much damage. What's the point of taking them besides a cycle card? Now they can burn the goalie. They can burn the shield. They can burn tanky stuff. So, but they're super squishy, right? So you can use a 1 mana fire drop to kill them all. Like, it's very simple. You have to learn what the stuff is that has to play against it. If you walk up and try to fight them as a champion, you're going to pay with your life. It's that simple. So really dig into the summons and what summons counter each other, and you have to build your deck and make those choices. If somebody runs a bunch of horde stuff, just make sure you have 1 or 2 AoE cards in your deck. most of the champions also do have ways to deal with them safely. You just have to think about it a little bit. Ragnar can do a dive kick, dash, get in and out, put a bunch of fire. Neva can turn off all their attacks and fight them. Bolgar can displace them with his knockback. Gain can push them all away. You don't necessarily have to get into the mix to deal with them and then die because of it. So that's kind of where that's at. We are going to tune them down a little bit. They're doing a little too much right now. So now what we're doing here is we're going to bring their damage back and their health back a little bit. We still want them to be scary against certain units. We still want them to be scary against champions. They're slightly overtuned right now. They're slightly overtuned because of how much damage they're doing to the goal and the shield. So we're probably going to see an iteration sometime after this next hotfix, hopefully fast follow of changes to the goalie and shield health, but we don't want to do all these changes at one time. So we're going to tune back the horde stuff a little bit. We're also going to be pulling some mana back. I think I've got, 50, 60 cards out of the 270 that all their mana is going to come down a little bit. So we did beef the mana up because we beefed the damage up and the health up. We're going to pull back a lot of those that shouldn't be as high as they are. So you're going to get a lot more lower mana stuff that can deal with the hordes as well. So we've got a lot of good balance there with mana cost, with damages, and with health and stuff like that. And then we have in the back of our mind, games still might end a little faster than we want to. We are ready to make a change to the goalie health and the shield health next, but we got to make sure the summons are where we want them first and what they're doing. We're really confident where the champions are. We're like 90% there with the summons. This will hopefully get us to that like 98%. And then we're just going to be like, okay, do we need to make the goalie and shields last longer based on what the summons are doing now? So that's the theory behind it all.
I do want, I know you already touched about this a little bit, but this is one thing I would love to just hear that high level and clarify for everyone, because I think I've seen both sides, which is interesting. Some people are like, man, I think especially during NextFest, like champions feel way too powerful. My summons don't matter. And this just feels like a hero shooter or whatever. And then I hear like now, and some feedback has been like, oh man, I'm just getting dumpstered by all these summons and stuff. And it feels like I don't have like any power or control. So like, I know you just went over that a bit in the balance, but like philosophy wise, you were saying like 50-50, 60-40, like just kind of reiterate, like what is the point of the game? Like, what do you see being more of the main factor? Is it summons? Is it heroes? Is it like we're trying to achieve this like perfect balance between the two?
Yeah, it doesn't ever have to be a perfect balance. Like that's why it's going to kind of teeter between, hey, is it 60% summons this patch or 60% champions? It was just like in that 80 to 90% champions, still too much. So we had to pull that back. The goal is like the deck building and the summons are the highlight of the game. You're there as a champion, you're playing the champion, you can do that. Your summons generally are not going to always go and KO a champion on their own. So you need to use the summons with you. I like to look at it as the summons are extensions of my champion's kit, and they are extra abilities for the champion. So I'm going to put some in my deck that are good at pushing lanes. I'm going to put some in my deck that can get me out of a situation if I'm getting pushed. I'm going to get some that will, help do a little chip damage in a fight. Some that will heal me or buff me and my teammates. That's kind of how I really like to look at the summons. Just throwing them in a lane and thinking that they're going to go win the game for you is not what it is. You need to support them. It is a team game, and the cohesion between the champions and the summons is what's important. So if you have a wave going and you are not there with your champion, that wave is going to get destroyed. It's going to do nothing. If you are there with them, you now can help them fight. You can help fight the other player because you as the champion are going to have the most onus to fight the other champions. So I look at it as, here's my wave, here's my little posse. I need to protect them because they are what's going to do damage to the goal and the shield. Me as a champion, I ain't doing no damage to the goal and shield. I can't take him by myself. No, I have to deliver them. In order to deliver them, they need my help to clear the waves and to push the other champions off of them. Right? So that's kind of how I look at it. You have a very important role, but you're not going to just win it by yourself. You have to.
And I think a lot of people are used to like, oh, I'm a champion, I'm the most powerful thing, and then I'm like bloodthirsty. But the reality is like, if summons are 50, maybe even 60% of the battle, then it's like, well, the more you die, the less you can summon. So like that hurts both sides of the equation.
You got some of the summons like specifically designed around that too, with the blitz and everything, with like the blitz, they're going right for the objective. They're going for the goalie. They're going for the core. If you aren't fighting with them, they're just going to go try and face tank the goalie. Some of them might make it, but we got a couple large ones that the enemy team should be like, I have a large unit coming from my face. I should probably beat that. But like my favorite ones recently are the Blitz boys. Those guys, they do a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of health. So if they just run through the enemy, they'll just completely ignore any summons on the enemy team and run right through them. So they'll just take damage, chip damage from any of them passing through, and then you'll get no value out of them because you didn't want to escort them. So we have there's a good a bunch of them that require that escort.
And I think we could definitely say we could probably have full shows that just go through patch notes and balance. But before we leave that topic, Shady, into the other feedback, just another high philosophy question, Brad. Like, how much of balance the game? Obviously, we have 270 cards. Like, nothing ever is going to be perfect. Even like League of Legends, like there's always champions that are 45% win rate. There's champions that are 55% win rate. So just a quick like balance philosophy and like how much matters of like win rates versus like how much like streamers and community members coming and submitting their feedback. Like, how do you balance all those different points?
Generally, win rate of the champions is a good way to know if champions are balanced. There's a lot of variables in our game, like what deck are they using, what summons, all these things. Generally, for a champion balance, the win rate to make sure the champions are at least like even against each other, and you're not just seeing like, hey, every time there's a gain on the team, they win. They have 100% win rate. Right now, our champions are sitting in between 48 and 52% win rate across the board. So the champions are, perfectly balanced between each other, essentially. So if you think Gain is OP, I got news for you. He's not.
I've heard multiple.
And you just got to learn to play against him. That's all it is. If you tune him one way, he becomes unplayable. So it's a very fine line. So that's kind of the first step. The data for the summons is a little different because you have to look at that in buckets of new players versus like players that have higher win percentages and stuff. And you have to see like, what are they taking? How is that correlating to it? But when it comes to summons, we really just are looking at, are people taking these in their decks more than win rates? So if it's like, hey, we see the squad of punks that has 10 punks in 90% of decks, we probably need to go nerf that because it shouldn't be an auto include in that many decks. So number of decks and play rate of the summons is more important versus the win percentage for that. The player feedback is very important because that's where you get all the nitty gritty stuff and you get recommendations and things, and it lets us go test what players are thinking and what they're feeling. And so if anybody ever thinks like you submit something or you say something and it doesn't get, adjusted or looked at, there could be a million reasons why. But we do look at every piece of feedback that comes in. We're like, hey, should we consider this? What happens if we do this? What happens if we do that? A good example is, somebody in the chat when I asked for feedback said nerf Locke's ultimate. And so we literally had a discussion for like an hour. What are the options that we could do to Locke's ultimate to change it without making it unplayable? And there's 3 to 5 of those options on the table. I haven't made one of those changes yet because it could be too harsh of a change, but it's on the table still sitting there and we're watching it and we're monitoring it, right? To decide what we want to do with it.
Yeah. So we take all feedback, but it's not necessarily like, we can't obviously just like bend to everyone's wishes. Like, we give you this exact wish. It's like, okay, what is their feedback saying and how can we make those changes? And that might take some time too. You might not get the immediate result that, someone is looking for.
Some things we'll respond to right away. Other things we need to put it in the kitchen a little bit and cook with it to make sure that we're making the right choice.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, Shady, kick us into the next topic because I know we've been on balance for a while.
I mean, I think that's like the most important thing is going over the balance, because a lot of the feedback we've been receiving from the community it's a mixture of, you got the people that probably know this genre pretty well. They know how to play it and everything. But then we also have the people that I think we have a couple new of our creators that joined our creator program that are like, I don't play these games at all, but I'm having a good time.
Right.
But they're having a good time and they're losing a lot, which, you can only have fun losing so many times on a new game. So a lot of the, the feedback we're getting is I think I would argue that a lot of it has to do with, the tutorial. Some of the tutorial stuff is a pain point for people. We have a lot of the feedback is centered around getting the information you want and having it easily accessible. which is something we are working on. Working on some of the descriptions, some of the keywords. The tutorial will, it's going to be cooking for a little while, but we have heard quite a bit from that.
The immediate thing also that goes kind of into a lot of feedback and even the balance as well is you can say, hey, a new player is playing against somebody that's been playing for months or a year with us even, and they can just get steamrolled and they'd be like, the balance sucks. And it's like, well, you just got match made wrong. So one thing that we're going to be rolling out, it's actually in the background right now happening. We are generating MMR. I'm going to call it a soft MMR for everybody. We're not doing like hard ELO or anything like that, but a softer MMR for people that we're going to be generating over the next several days. And then come Monday, when the hotfix lands, that will go live into the queues, and we will start to look in the matchmaking to put people into MMRs that are closer of their range. So as you're winning and losing games, you will go up and down in MMR just as if it was ranked in the background to get better matches. So the newer players are going to be playing each other more. The more experienced players will be playing each other more. However, there's a caveat there. We do not want to extend matchmaking time. We're not going to be like, hey, you can only match with somebody that's 100 MMR above or below you. You're going to sit here for 30 minutes. We ain't doing that. Right. It's going to be just as fast as it is now, but it's going to start you looking for someone your skill, and it's going to expand really fast looking for a new player. So it's not going to be every single match, but it will help with hopefully a majority of the matches. And then that will, in turn, hopefully also make people think that the balance is a little bit better than what it is perceived as, because you picked a fight you didn't know because you're a newer player and they had 50 units on the field and 100 to 0 to your goal in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
When skill levels are more equal, that generally isn't going to happen. So
right. and I think
we're trying to fix that.
The interesting thing in our game, it's like skill level, but also like these players who've played longer have more cards. So they just might have a more powerful deck than a new player that has like hardly anything unlocked or doesn't know what the summons. And
now that's a tricky statement there, Luke. More powerful summons. We are not paid to win, sir. We are not paid to win, sir. That default deck slams, buddy.
Okay, all right. I don't win the default deck, but I have to play it.
I've been auto-locking Neva for the last 2 days, running only the default deck. I mean, I win some, I lose some, but at the same time, I'm not constantly sweaty. So maybe I could have 100% win rate, and I'm just lazy.
There are cards that are going to be perceived better, but they are balanced based on the mana of them and what they do and everything like that. But just so everybody knows, all the cards are viable. It's really understanding what the cards do and when to use them. So like a newer player might not know, when do I use a broccoli? When do I use a shooter crew? When do I use one? They're like, I have a card, I throw it. And then you're like, well, that didn't work.
I think that actually brings up a good question, Brad, that I'm curious about. There have been some players who are like, okay, the rarity of the cards, does a legendary mean they're better and I should just stick 10 legendaries in my deck?
No, it doesn't.
Kind of
the legendary is there more to determine how you get stuff out of packs. The legendary ones are generally going to cost more mana, and they are going to have a more flashy ability or higher health and stuff like that, right? Like a Jans, a Goret, a Florfin, a Pyrokeet that spawns 3 when it respawns, a Bada Boom that has 2 of them. They have more than the base card does, the origin card does. So we give them higher rarities because we know like this is a card that you can put in your deck and it could be a game-changing card if you use it correctly, right? That's the key there. It doesn't just like auto win you it. The Pyrokeets is a perfect example. It's a, 8 cost Pyrokeet or something like that. And when 7, and most of the Pyrokeets are 3, 4, 5. This one's 7, so it's on the more expensive side. It's a legendary version of it. When it respawns from its egg, it spawns 3 Pyrokeets. When those go down, if those eggs come back, they spawn 3 more. It is so hard to get those eggs to hatch to get the additional ones that like if you get it to happen, it is perceived as like an OP game-changing card. That's fine.
Right.
It's going to happen like 1 out of 100 times.
It took me a while. I got 81. Y'all, I got to 81.
He did. He got 81 of them on the field. He did. That's kind of how we look at them of like, they are harder cards to summon because they're more mana.
Right.
They are going to have some sort of more game-changing ability, but they're not free. They're not auto. They're not anything like that. You have to still understand how to play them and how to use them.
Cool. Shady, I don't want to take, this is our first show here. I don't want to take like 2 hours of everyone's time. But any other like important highlight ones that you've seen as far as feedback so far?
Just there's just a lot of a lot of things we've seen people mention is like the game's solid. They understand we're in early access and we need polish. That is like the important room to grant us to grow is the polish. We have we have some UI improvements that are we're already looking at. A good example is players have requested a better way to know like what your teammate like the state of your teammate. So that's ult charge as well as if they are alive or not. So that is a UI element that is being worked on, and that will be in a future update. And just kind of there's just general things. Again, it was with information, right? Like a mouse over, or you mouse over a card, you want that information directly. You don't want to have to click on it. There's just all these different UI elements that people want. Audio as well. I could give a long laundry list of audio stuff. But when it comes down to it, it's just people are enjoying the game as it is. A lot of them are. I appreciate them saying, "Hey, I understand you guys are in early access. Here's what I would like to see." And a lot of the stuff is already on the list. The big one that everyone is asking for is ranked. Obviously, we can't have a game like this without a ranked mode. That'll eventually come. We get a little bit of a test with the soft MMR, but it's not like a ranked mode. That is just kind of that soft queue system. And then we have the pings. Pings is the big one. We hear everyone asking for pings. We understand that people want the additional communication. Luckily it's 2v2, so you're not doing a 6v6 herding cats in a match. So you get a little bit of leeway with that.
There's four. I could tell you like the top four, the next like four things that we're working on.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got the hotfix stuff that we talked about. We've got the MMR kind of going to help that. We've got all the balance stuff. We're going to keep doing that stuff. There's a million other fixes that you can see. There's some champion stuff. Then as we look forward, the top four things that are on our list right now is the ping system. So we're going to get some sort of ping system in there to be able to communicate with people. We are getting a revamp to the tutorial to help new players and even other players get more information, how to play champions, how the game mode works, everything like that. So look for, expanded information on tutorial side. Ranked mode, the ranked has to come online once the player base is large enough and big enough and the queues can support it. It is something we are actively looking at and working on though, because it is very important to come. And then a sandbox mode is the other thing. So we want to be able to give you guys a sandbox mode where you can go in. Essentially how it's going to work is you're going to be able to choose different versions of it. Do you want to practice offense and practice versus the goalie? Do you want to practice defense? You can practice defending the goalie. Do you want to see what summons do versus each other? You can say, I want to pick these things on this side and these things on this side, spawn them and see how they fight against each other. So we've got this mini little summon game in there we're working on. We've got different scenarios to practice combat and stuff like that. We want you guys to be able to jump in there, feel the champions, test all of the summons, and really see how everything can work. So those are kind of like the top four things. Obviously there's tons of other polish and balance and stuff like that. Those are the four like larger features that we're working towards right now. So we're taking everyone's feedback. We've kind of been working on some of these and it's just, we can't have everything on day one. Right. So
the sandbox one I didn't know about, and that's getting me excited, especially for content. Like yesterday I had such a funny moment where I stopped fighting. And I just stood back. I'm like, okay, there's a Cata King ripping cactuses off of his hair, looking at a giant piece of broccoli trying to curb stomp it. I'm like, this is just the funniest thing to just sit back and watch. And I'm like, if there's a sandbox mode where I can spawn like 10 Brocks and 10 Cacta Kings, like that type of stuff is going to be so fun just to like sit back and watch.
Yeah, so that's kind of where that's at, and that'll get us in the near term future, and then we're going to be looking at new summons, new champions, new maps and stuff after that, right? So that's
sweet.
That's the future.
Well, I know we don't have any back end engineers here on the show right now. Maybe in the future, but one of the things I did hear, and I'm curious if you guys have any insights, was some players gave the feedback of like, hey, it felt like the game was performing or the servers were running better during NextFest or early access. Is that true? Is that just perception? Like, what has that been? Optimization, those types of things.
As far as I know, that's more perception. A lot of the problems that we see are lower end graphics cards or memory on graphics cards that just are not meeting our minimum specs. We still have a long road to go to be able to optimize. Like the team is working on optimization and bringing the memory down so that other graphics cards and lower, I don't even want to say lower end machines, but like graphics cards that are not of 8 gigabyte memory right now. Like we want to get to the 6 gigabyte memory. That's where we see most of the problems. But like servers and stuff like that, as far as I know, that is all perception and there's nothing negative about that. We have actually spun up servers in multiple regions now. So like you're going to have better ping, you're going to have better connections if you're playing in other regions most of the time. Where in NextFest, we didn't have that. So if anything, it should be improved.
Cool. I don't know, Shady, if you've seen more feedback around that or any other insights.
No, pretty much, just that, a thing to note is like the regions aren't split to like, if you're in Europe, you're going to only play on the Europe server. Depending on the people in queue, right? You're still gonna it's gonna figure out who has like what's the best option for all the players involved, and it'll link you guys up based on that. So you still might be playing in different regions depending on where you are located. But as our player base expands, it'll help balance that out.
Sweet. Yeah, I would love to, right before we get to announcements, just kind of last thoughts or shout outs that you guys want to give. First of all, I would just want to say thank you to the people that have been playing our game, streaming our game. Like, it's so fun to watch you guys play and enjoy the game that I've only been on the team for a few months, but Brad and Shady and some others, like I know you guys have been at this for years. So I'm so glad that it's finally out into the wild, which is awesome. And I think, right now we're looking at like a very small core player base. Obviously our numbers aren't high, but that's part of the strategy, right? Releasing to early access. We're looking for those of you that are just going to be core players, help us to give that feedback, to give that insight as we eventually turn up more marketing. Hopefully we'll see a good chunk of new players coming in. But I just want to say shout out to those of you guys who are sticking with us as we are improving things, adding new things, because you guys are really helping us shape the game, as Brad pointed out earlier. So thank you to everyone that has been playing. That's my shout out. Shady, I want to hear from you. What's your kind of shout out or last thoughts here?
A shout out to, a lot of this couldn't be possible without the Brad's Bunch. You guys may see them rocking their titles in game. Those are a group of our internal testers. They have been with us for at least like 2 years ish. We have a personal shout out just because I feel like it's necessary to MFL, who probably has put the most time of testing, not even just testing, but in like any state of the game where we had like public alphas and everything. He was always in it. That dude did not take a break from our game when he had the opportunity. And again, like a quick shout out to him. He's in Japan, so he's playing. He's late night with us, so he has probably the most hours on anyone. Great guy. He's been jumping around in streams and everything. But Brad's Bunch in general, too. They've been really helping the community. They've been helping streamers. They've been, doing all that. They give us feedback and they test and we break stuff together and frustrate Brad to have to go fix things together. So it's been fun.
Yeah. And if you see a Brad's Bunch member playing, then you can feel less bad if you get destroyed by them, because you can know they've been playtesting for months and months and months at this point.
Or you could report them to me and I'll have a conversation with them.
There you go.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say it, but Brad got it.
I warned them. For the first couple of weeks. So I will take DMs, put it in the Discord, tell me who it is that is mistreating you.
Or maybe
we will have a conversation.
We should have forced the title on them, huh, Brad? So
Yeah,
they couldn't avoid.
We should.
To be fair, it's not just them. There's like streamers, like I saw Malik and H&H. They've been streaming like literally every day this week, and I'm like, dude, they are steamrolling players, and they just started last week. So it's fun to see those people just like really get the game. But I'm also like, oh man, this is rough when they're going against completely noobs and new players. So I'm excited for more of that match making coming in, Brad. But heading over to you, Brad. What's your kind of final thoughts and shout outs here?
Just keep playing the game. Tell your friends to play the game. I don't got any shout outs. Shout outs to the team for making it happen, and everyone's grinding and doing it. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We got the skins. just keep playing. You're gonna get some more cool skins. We know everybody likes the skins.
Yes. All right. Well, kick it off with some announcements here at the end. Speaking of skins, we will have more info to come, but just so you guys know, the skins in the shop are going to rotate. Some of you guys have been asking about, like, when can I get this specific skin that you see in the UI? Just know those are going to rotate in and out of the shop. We'll give you guys some more specific announcements when they have those. Stay tuned on that. But if you want to get those 3 right now, those will be taken out of the shop here eventually, TBD on the date, at least for a while until they rotate back in. A couple other things for those of you guys who haven't joined the creator program that have been streaming, or if you're making content, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, even if it's on Tumblr, I don't know, throw out a random platform here and feel free to join the creator program. Leah, our creator manager, has been reaching out to a lot of you guys and has some secret in-game goodies for you. They're not that secret, but there's some extra fame and fortune for you guys joining the creator program. So if you're a creator, you're a streamer, make sure you give that a whirl. That is on our website, or we can get you connected to Leah and stuff on Discord. The other thing is we're going to be at DreamHack. So if you guys are in the Atlanta area and you haven't signed up for the DreamHack conference yet, we do have a promo code, just Wildcard. You'll get 15% off of your tickets, and we're gonna have an awesome booth there, as well as some of you guys have already qualified for the tournament in the Road to DreamHack here in the last month. But there will also be Friday, Saturday open qualifiers, anyone that comes by to our booth that wants to play. Or you can just come out if you're not competitive and don't want to participate in the tournament, just come and say hi. Like, let's hang out, get to know the team. A lot of us will be there, so that will be really exciting, and hope to see a lot of you guys there. And then other than that, we have this show eventually is going to become a more regular show here in November once we're back from DreamHack. So if you're like, hey, this is awesome, I watched it, but I want to like be able to show up and ask questions and all of that, just know we got some more shows coming called Dev Talks, and you'll get to hopefully even meet more people outside of just me, Brad, and Shady, and get to know our team. As we said, we're not massive, so that's one of the cool advantages we have as a smaller team is you guys get to know a lot of us, and we'll get to know a lot of you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for being part of the Wildcard Town Hall, Brad and Shady. I'm sure there's 1,000 things you guys got to go do on your list. I know there's things on my list as well. So thank you for taking the time, and everyone watching. Really appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you in the game as well. Take care, everyone.
See ya.